afternoon's keynote speaker, Liz Nierzwicki. She is the founder of Soul Your Soul.
Yes.
Welcome, Liz.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wow. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. I just want to take a moment to honor everybody that has passed from heart disease and stroke, people that you know that have experienced this personally. So let's take a moment of silence in their name. I pray that this message serves you all today. So I have a lot to talk about, but I have a very short amount of time. So one of my questions for you is, are you happy? I really believe that it's our sole job to be happy. That's our only job. That we're alive, we've been given this gift of life, and we are meant to be happy. And we are the ones that really get in our own way and add layers and layers and layers to our lives, and we begin to stress ourselves out. Are you balanced? Are you taking care of yourself? We were checking people in the studio this week, and a couple people were like, oh, I haven't been there recently. I haven't been able to make it in. I want to, but life, work, all these things that are standing in the way. Are you able to take care of the things that are truly important to you? Your health, your heart, your spirit. So honestly, ask yourself that question. What aspects of your life are you letting get in front of your own health? Okay? So it's really important to really take a look in the mirror and, realize what are the things that hold you back. What's the price of success? A lot of us are, entrepreneurs, leaders in the business community, and it's really important to understand what the price is of the success that you are, the life that you're living. So research shows that it's 40% heart disease of successful people. 60% is diabetes. So instead of saying, what do I want to do with my life, ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to live? And then let's go backwards from that point. So today, I'm talking to you guys about the brain. And I promise this is going to tie in to the heart. Okay, so we're going to do a little mind experiment. I want you all to kind of step away from the drinks at your table and just sit down, turn in towards your seat, and get comfortable. We're going to do a minute meditation. Okay, so go ahead and begin to close your eyes and start to connect to your breath. What we're going to do is just imagine a big, blue, vast, expansive sky. There may be a white cloud here or there. And for the next minute, we're going to try to just keep this image in our mind, thinking only on this image. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes. How did that work out for you? Was anybody able to keep that clear, blank mind? If you were, raise your hand. Like 2 people. Okay, good news. The rest of you are normal. Okay, so neuroscientists at the University of Stanford are doing amazing research with our brain. They're doing MRI scans, and they're studying the brains of meditators and non-meditators, how to break bad habits, and how meditation helps with that. So the neuroscientists have determined and really figured out that we have 2 states of mind. We have an evaluating state of mind, and that's what just happened with you. That's what you have evolved with. It's called the evaluating state of mind. And then you also have an experiencing state of mind. And that's the state of mind that is active when you're present, when you're fully engaged in a conversation, when you're playing music and you're fully engaged in that moment and what you're doing. And your brain is there. Okay, so what you just did is a little test of the mind to see where the mind goes. And what they've determined is they've really done a ton of research to find out, what are we doing when we think we're going to try and shut our brain off? What happens? They found that when they ask people, they get them in the brain scanner and they say, okay, try not to think. The brain actually lights up, it just becomes on fire in all of these different areas. And what they found out is the brain has 4 key areas. And you guys can write this stuff down if you want to, because it's a great takeaway for you. The brain is doing one of 4 things. It's either commentating. Maybe some of you are saying, it's too cold in here. They should turn the air down. It's time traveling. It's going to what you guys have going on tonight, maybe next week, something that happened in the past. It's also creating a self. So your brain is going to work and building up this sense of self. And in the yoga tradition, this is called ego. And then we're also comparing ourselves to others. Comparing ourselves to the person's hair next to us, or are they skinnier than me? Whatever. Their nails look better than me, whatever. That's what we're doing when we're trying to be still. So what they found is that with as little of 8 weeks of meditation training, non-meditators could begin to stay in this experiencing self. But without any mind training, the non-meditators were not able to keep their mind in the prefrontal cortex, which is the area of the brain that keeps your attention in the present moment. They just were not able to do it. So it's like if you got a new job and they said, hey, you're going to go and do our computer programming. Let's go. Good luck. Start doing it. How well are you going to do? So a lot of people think that meditation, they're like, I just can't do it. Well, no, you can't, because you're human. And your brain it was evolved to help you solve problems, create things, fix stuff. And so without mind training and focusing, you're not going to be able to do it. So it's really important to just know that it's here, it's in your reach. And all you have to do, I call this a backpack meditation. All you have to do is in the flick of your hand, bring your awareness to anything in the present moment. So you guys are going to find yourself, now that you know these 2 areas of brain, you're going to find yourself maybe getting dressed in the morning, thinking about everything that's going on. Or you'll be with your family having dinner and you'll be thinking about stuff that happened at work. Leave it there. Do anything you can when you find yourself sliding out of the experience and bring yourself back. Every time that you do that, you literally strengthen this prefrontal cortex. And what the neuroscientists have found out is that this area of the brain can actually grow thicker. The brains of the meditators look different in structure than the non-meditators. They have a larger prefrontal cortex, and there's more connections, a lot more happening between the neurons than it is in non-meditators. It's pretty interesting, huh? So some research that's going on that you guys might want to check out is The Neuroscience of Change, fantastic book, The Willpower Instinct by Kelly McGonigal. And these are some books that are really important to help us understand what's going on in the brain. She's a neuroscientist at Stanford working in the field and studying the brain. Okay. Now, we're going to talk, I just want you guys to think about something in your life that is creating stress. There was the topic of smoking, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper. We have binge eating. We have smoking. We have controlling behaviors. Getting quick to get angry and yell at people, maybe your kids. So I want you to really think for a second, something in your life that is creating suffering for you. Okay? And now I'm just going to give you a little story. So imagine that you've set the intention to diet, and you have 100% conviction. You're going to start this diet, and you've gone to the grocery store, and you've got all the foods that you need, and you're going to start working out. Okay? You're fully committed to this brand new goal. And then you go to work, and it's Wednesday, and you've been doing great on Monday and Tuesday, but then all of a sudden, Wednesday, everything goes up, the shit hits the fan. You have a really bad day at work, and you get stressed out. And then on the way home, you find yourself pulling into Krispy Kreme donuts and getting a box of donuts, okay? So what happened? All right, so the researchers have found out that when we get stressed out, our conscious mode gets shut off and our automatic mode gets turned on. So whatever conscious choices that you have made to make your life healthier and better, so let's say you want to quit smoking, you've been doing great for those 2 days. You see an old friend, what your brain does is it automatically turns on that trigger, and then you go straight from the trigger to the response, that thing that you think is going to make you feel better. Even though that thing might not make you feel better. Maybe at one point in time in your life, you turned to food for comfort, and it helped you, maybe at that time. But over the course of your life, you've built it into a habit. It's become a procedural memory in your brain. So every time you get sad, you have this trigger that gets turned on, and you have that urge to turn to the food. Or every time you see a friend that you smoke with or you drink with, the trigger gets turned on, okay? So what do? This is about habits, and the good news is we can actually break habits by creating new ones. And how we do that is we set behavioral commitments for ourselves when we're outside of those stressful moments, because we're not always stressed out, all right? We may be a lot, but in your day-to-day life, you're not always stressed out. So what we need to do to break bad habits and create new habits is set something into play that we're going to begin to slowly replace that other habit with. Okay, but the research shows that this other habit is never going to go away. It's up to you on a daily basis, behavioral commitments into place that will get you creating this new habit. So the brain has a remarkable ability to create new habits and a remarkable ability to help you learn things. Just like when you were a kid and you wanted to ride the bike. The first couple times, crash and burn, right? But then after a while, you get the hang of it. That's your brain creating a procedural memory. So everything takes a little bit of getting uncomfortable. So what you need to identify with is the process that you're willing to live with. So let's go back to the dieter. They want to diet. They found themselves eating the donuts on a Wednesday, and they're in the middle of it, and they're devouring donuts, and then they're mad at themselves. What happens then? Can anybody tell me? What would you do? You'd be ticked off at yourself, right? So research has found that when we are self-loathing, and when we begin to beat ourselves up, it's like putting a straitjacket on ourselves. The areas of the brain that are fired up when we are beating ourselves up and calling ourselves names, or you're fat, or you're never going to be able to do this, that's the same part of the brain that is triggered when somebody is punishing you. It puts a brakes on you doing any behavior, any conscious choices. So when you find yourself in those moments, it's really important that you guys give yourself some love and go, oh, you know what? I just did it. The stress response kicked on, and I'm now eating these donuts because this is the thing that I do when I get stressed out. And we all have our own unique thing that we turn to when we're stressed. Okay, so it's really important to understand what it is that is creating suffering in your life. And then begin to just look at that. All right, another takeaway. I promised some takeaways today. So we're going to do another meditation, very brief meditation. I call this the compassion meditation. You're going to keep your eyes open, and you're going to make a conscious choice as to where you're going to look and where you're going to place your hands. And then you're going to count your breath, or you can say inhale as you inhale and exhale as you exhale. So let's go ahead and start that now. We're going to do this for a few moments. When you find your mind wandering, this is called the compassion meditation. So instead of beating yourself up, you say, oh, I just did it, and you bring your awareness back to whatever conscious choice it is that you made. So go ahead and start now. Try not to fidget. Try not to move your eyes from that location. Make a conscious choice as to where you will place your hands. And then just gently breathe in and breathe out. You can identify the in-breath and say in as you inhale. This is a way to keep the brain exactly where you want it. And as you exhale out, say out. Okay, go ahead and stop. I have like a 5-minute threshold on that one, and I meditate a lot. How'd that go? It's hard, huh? That's a tough one, because your eyes are open, and there's so many shiny things around you, and people moving, and maybe somebody fidgeting, and you have to consciously say, okay, I'm going to choose to scratch that itch. Okay, scratch. Or I'm going to consciously choose to look over that direction. This is one of the best meditations that somebody who's trying to quit smoking can do, because it's called surfing the urge. So before you have an itch, usually unconsciously we just scratch it, right? But when we surf the urge and we feel this urge arise in us that, oh, I have an itch on my foot. And we think about it. And we move into the sensation of, what does it feel like? And then we make the choice to scratch it, or 90% of the time, it will subside, just like a wave. So this is wonderful research to help you guys just begin to start your own meditation practice. Now I'm going to tie this all into the heart. Obviously, if your brain is crazy and you're living in this evaluating mode and you're comparing yourself to others, it's going to create a lot of suffering, okay? The brain needs to be tamed. And you've all heard of oxytocin, right? It's called the cuddle hormone. It's released when you hug. But what a lot of people don't know about oxytocin is it is actually a stress hormone. This hormone is pumped out in massive amounts when you get stressed out. It is released from the pituitary gland in the brain. And when it's pumped out because the heart has receptors to receive this oxytocin. So in a typical stress response, your heart rate goes up, your blood vessels constrict, and that's where we get a heart attack. That's where we get the problem. So this is one reason why chronic stress is linked to heart disease. In certain studies, when the participants viewed stress as helpful rather than harmful, they actually viewed this pumping of their heart as their body's ability to help them rise to an occasion. Or this adrenaline pumping is the body's ability to help them when it needs to help them. And when they viewed their stress response as helpful, their blood vessels did not constrict. They were less stressed out and less anxious and more confident that they were able to handle this stressful event. So instead of worrying so much about stress, we hear stress is going to kill you, stress is so bad for you, but stress is inevitable. And the body has a built-in mechanism to help you deal with stress. So what that also says is about the oxytocin is when you get stressed out and your body is pumping out this stuff that you release when you hug someone, it's the body literally saying to you, reach out to someone for help. Get help. We don't go into, think about a baby. They don't go into their bedroom and cry. No, they reach up their arms to their parent to hug me, hold me, I'm stressed out, I need you. That's the body's built-in mechanism to help us with stress. So my takeaway for you guys today is I just want you to begin to rethink the way that you approach your life. Happiness is our only job. If you thought about life that way, man, life would be a lot different. If you woke up every day and you thought, I'm here. I'm here to be alive. I'm here to be happy. I'm here to help people. I'm here to be loving and supportive. And then live a life that offers that. And when you have those stressful occasions, remember the brain. Remember the brain's ability to be in this evaluating mode or be in the experience. And understand that your body has this built-in mechanism to help you deal with stress, help you deal with the things that come up. So instead of saying, what do I want to do with my life? Ask yourself, how do I want my life to be? A lot of people don't look at themselves 20 years down the road. They think about now. And so are you living the life that you want to be living? And if you're not, how can you adapt it now? Not tomorrow, not next week, now. What can you do today that will just give you a little bit more peace of mind about your life? I really hope that this serves you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Some great information. This has truly been a fantastic